Yo YouTube, so I owe you a video today, Albedo and Diluc. Now it took me a little longer than I thought because Diluc apparently didn't have the right items, which is fine. I grinded that out on stream. I used 12 fragile resin and didn't get the items I needed. Well, I did get some items that are passable, but not the perfect items or perfect rolls. We're gonna go over those in a second, but I want to talk about Albedo real quick. So I also used some fragile resin on Albedo, and I wanted to test out a couple different sets on him, see what's viable, and see what made Diluc a better damage dealer. So I tried out 4-piece Archaic Petra, I tried out 4-piece Noblesse Oblige, I tried out both half and half, the hybrid Noblesse Oblige and Archaic together. And I think I came to the conclusion that Noblesse Oblige and Archaic Petra, the hybrid, is better than full Archaic and full Noblesse. I think most of the population agrees with me as well because it makes his blossoms do more damage, it makes his ult do more damage, and it'll just overall do better for him in the long run. And we're going to talk about that right now. So now let's get right into Diluc and Albedo's artifacts. So let's check Diluc's first. I want to go over his kind of okay artifacts, the artifacts that I decided were okay and passable for this test. Now it's going to be his Goblet and his Hourglass. His Goblet is pyro damage bonus, which the substats of defense, attack, HP, and attack percent. Now I wanted all the rolls ideally to be on attack percent, but as you can see, I got about 2 rolls on attack flat and the rest of the rolls on HP, which led me to 20.4% HP. Now I don't mind that roll, but it does hurt that I couldn't get it on attack percent, meaning my damage is a little lower than it should be. But it's okay. I think it was passable and better than what it was. Now, if we look at Hourglass, it's attack percent on the top, of course, base attack percent. We got base attack, elemental mastery, defense, and HP as the substats. Now, we also got attack rolls on this. We got, I think it was 2 attack rolls, flat attack rolls, which is not the best thing. I wish it was attack percent. And the rest on HP and defense. Again, this is a passable item, but not the ideal item. The ideal item would be crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, elemental mastery. That would be great for Diluc. I think that's the perfect Hourglass anybody can ask for. But as you can see, we're running for a 4-piece set of Crimson Witch, which is going to help with Oz. Oz is going to be summoned when Diluc is out, and he'll be doing overload damage as well as proccing Albedo's E passive. Now let's talk about Albedo real quick. So I have the perfect Noblesse Feather roll on him, being crit rate, crit damage, attacks percent, and elemental mastery, which is great for him. I'm looking at this and I feel like I could change this, but it's a pretty decent flower. It's HP as a base stat, it's always going to be HP with the substats of energy recharge, crit rate, which is 12.4%, attack 10.5%, and defense 16. Now I think that's fine, and I'm running it for the 2-piece Archaic Petra. I think this is 100% fine because of the defense roll. Now let me explain. Albedo's Constellation 2, right, increases his damage by 30%, and it does it scaling off of defense, and that's going to affect his ult. So we're talking 30%, 60, 90, 120 on max stats. So we're having 120% increase on max stats, on max stacks, which we will see based on his defense. And that's why I do want defense rolls in this whole build. Now I've seen people run attack percent and they say, wow, dude, why don't you run attack percent? Why don't you just run attack percent? It does way more damage on his ult, which is true. His ult scales off of attack while his E scales off of defense. The thing is, when you have Constellation 0, that's fine. Attack percent will do more damage overall. But if you have Constellation 2 or above, Albedo will start to scale off of defense more than he does attack. Now, you could be doing 40,000 damage on attack percent, Albedo, but I'd rather do 20,000 or 25,000 and 8,000 per hit if every 2 seconds my E is out. That is crazy damage. And as you can tell, or as you're gonna see, with stack that with Overlord and Diluc's E's plus Q, he's gonna do insane amounts of damage together with his whole team. And this team is built off of them together. Now, with that being said, I do want to change one thing out of these items, and that's gonna be the mask. Okay, and I'm gonna explain this to you. Defense percent roll is fine, and that's why I have it on him. The substats are good as well: crit damage, attack flat, attack percent, HP percent. Okay, but I want something like this: crit damage plus an attack percent roll on the bottom, and maybe a defense flat would make a great mask for Albedo. Now let me explain to you why. My weapon right now is a 3-star weapon that increases crit rate by 28%, and also has a crit damage amplifier. So we're getting 46.9% crit damage from this 3-star sword, and 28% crit above 90 HP, which we will always be. He's not going to be on the field at all, except for popping his E and when he occasionally pops his Q. If we look at his stats, his crit rate is at 55.6%. I don't need a crit rate mask. I need a crit damage mask that will up his crit damage by about 60%, which will leave him at 180 to 190%, which means he's going to do at least 36,000 around there, in the 30s. He's going to be in the 30s with his ult, and his E will do about 10k per hit. It's already doing 8k per hit at max stats, and you will see that soon. I think that would be the ideal damage build, and I will update this video once I get that. I will do an Albedo showcase once I get that crit damage build done. But for now, we're gonna rock with this. Now let's head over to Childe, and let's figure out if this build is good, if I'm correct. And we'll show this off in phase 2. So you see that he's critting for 9,000. The man himself is critting for 9,000. Now what we're gonna want to do is get Bennett's ult real quick. In stage 2, it'd be a lot easier because he moves a little less. Okay, so now we're gonna drop this. We're gonna drop this. We're gonna switch to Diluc, get this off, and then we're gonna ult. Did you see that crit? We're hitting for 20,000 plus 10k without even ulting with Albedo. Okay, without even ulting with Albedo, we're critting for 20k with Diluc and 10k with Albedo. Now, if I were to do the full combo, let's check out the damage that Albedo's ult does. Okay, let's check out the damage. Phase 3, blah blah blah, skip. Okay, so let's check out this damage. We still have max stacks on Albedo. We haven't used his ult yet. We do not want to get hit by this, because Albedo loses his damage when he's below 90%. Okay, so what we're gonna do is try to heal up with Bennett. We need to get his ult. Okay, need to get his ult. We need to get his ult, please, God. All right. So now what we're gonna do is heal with Albedo. Okay, and now we're gonna ult. 25,663. So if Childe survived that first combo that I did, Albedo would have hit for 10k or 11k plus 25,600. We can do that every 12 seconds. Albedo's ult is every 12 seconds. Okay, let's finish Childe off and we'll go and check out Albedo's stats. Alright, so looking back at the Childe video, I did a little bit of math about the damage I was doing during that little combo you saw with Diluc and Albedo. Even when it discluded Fischl, it did 105,000 damage. 105,465 damage, which completely melted Childe. If I added on Albedo's ult, if Childe survived, it would have been upwards to 130k damage. The fact that you can do this, I'm pretty sure every 12 seconds. Now let's check that real quick. what is the cooldown on Albedo's ult? It's 12 seconds, okay? Now, what is the cooldown on Diluc's ult? It's 12 seconds. So, you can do this much damage every 12 seconds. That is discluding doing basic attack damage, which is about 3k to 4k with Diluc as your main DPS, having Oz out, and Albedo's passive proccing every 2 seconds with upwards to 8k damage. So you could do 8k damage with this. Now let's see, if I grab my calculator, right, and let's do 8,000 times, we can do this every 2 seconds. This procs every 2 seconds until your ult. So we do 2 divided by 12. 2 divided by 12 is gonna be 6, and we do 6 times 8,000. You're doing 48,000, upwards to 48,000 damage with Albedo critting every time with his passive, and that's lowballing it because 8,500 and something that he crits for. So as you can see, this duo is absolutely nutty, and I'm pretty sure even if you look into it and optimize it more, you can probably get it up to 200k. You could probably do 200k every 12 seconds. Like people like Zhongli, Albedo. You could have Diluc as well. You could have Xingqiu assisting Diluc. You could have a bunch of characters to optimize this team in another way. Right now, I like the official Bennett. Bennett being the one who makes Diluc do more ult damage with his Q, as well as buffing just overall damage, right? And healing me. And official having Oz so Diluc can proc overload. That's what I like about this team, but you could do it whatever way you want. Diluc and Albedo, I think, are one of the best duos in this whole entire game. Don't quote me on that, but I really think so. In my own opinion, Diluc and Albedo are pretty close to the top when it comes to duos, okay? They do ridiculous damage, okay? You can't tell me they don't, all right? So I'm gonna end this video here. You guys saw the power of Diluc and Albedo in action. And next video is probably gonna be Ganyu summons, as much as I hate to say it, because it's gonna be a lot of money. We're gonna Ganyu summon, and maybe it'll be on twitch.tv/reeverything, so you can go check that out in the description. In the description will be my Discord as well. You can join that as well. We talk about Genshin, we talk about Danganronpa. We just have a bunch of weebs in the server. We love you guys. We'll love you guys if you join. It's a big community. I love it. It's my second family. So I incline you to join. Anyway, you might catch me twitch.tv/reeverything, summoning for Ganyu and then making it into the video. If you just want to see the video, it'll be up on YouTube in a couple days. All right. I love you guys. Have a good one and stay safe out there.